Hello, beautiful people. So today I decided to go ahead and show the video for the other piece I did where I said it was the stunning negative space pour. So this was the test piece I did for that bigger piece. And I decided to just go ahead and pull this video from the archives and share with you because you never know, you might find something valuable in it. The very first thing I did was to create the negative space for myself. I decided to use black and white, and in general you don't want to just draw a straight line down the center of your canvas. It's not very interesting to the eye. I talk a lot about the Fibonacci Spiral, and I've had a lot of people ask me questions about it. So one of my goals in the next week is to do a video showing and explaining further the Fibonacci Spiral, because I think it's a really important piece of composition, and I think composition is one of the most important things in your paintings. So I'm going to go over that a little bit more and in a little bit more detail. Let me know other topics that you might be interested in learning about. I'm always open to ideas. One of the things I really want to talk about in another video is how to layer colors, because what I'm realizing is that the things that I've learned over time are things that maybe I learned in art over the course of my life. So I have been in a lot of art classes, and even though I've never done fluid acrylics or much painting, color composition definitely plays a huge role in what I do. So I just put that layer of gold to kind of provide a marrying point between the black and the white. And here I'm just trying to figure out what to do. That's the deep turquoise. I used some white, blue, phthalo blue, and then that's the nickel azo gold that I totally love, that rusty orange color, and that's just a very beautiful and interesting color that golden fluid acrylic makes, and I just love it. So I tried to make a very small cup because I really don't want to have to tilt this off. My thought process here was maybe I could use my airbrush, because I love some of the effects that I get with that airbrush. And for those of you who are wondering, my airbrush is set at 20 pounds PSI, pounds per square inch of air, but I have one of those needles on my airbrush that you can control. So I often slow down my airbrush. You'll see me pointing my airbrush towards the board, and then that's me adjusting the actual airbrush speed. So I think a lot of times when I use my airbrush, it's really low. So you can see there's a lot of paint on here, and that is definitely a concern for me. And when I did the second piece, which I'll link here, I definitely was concerned that I did have too much paint on my canvas. And in this case, I think I did have a little bit too much paint on my canvas as well. You know, something that someone brought up to me was she sent me a picture of her painting, and she said how disappointed she was in the way that it had turned out. And part of that was because it didn't turn out the way that she had in her head. And I just want to remind you that part of the journey of these paintings, of fluid art in general, is letting go of the expectation of what something is supposed to be. Letting go and releasing the control. As we let go and release the control, the evolving occurs. We look at the paint and we ask, what are you trying to show me? Where are you trying to take me? What adventure are we going on together today? And I really am sincere when I say this, because I'm a control freak. I'm a Virgo, and Virgos love to be in control of every single thing. It's ridiculous. And doing this art forced me to let go of the control and relinquish that control to the painting. So it's been an extremely healing type of art for me. I've never experienced anything like it in my life. And every single time I paint, I have to let go. I have to. And if I don't, I'm often disappointed with the results. Now, in this case, of course, the more paintings you do, of course, you start to build more of a skill base, so you understand how things are going to play together and what colors to use together, and you get an idea, of course, of how things are going to turn out. But having said that, at every single painting, at some point, I ask myself, what is the painting trying to show me? And I think it's a really important question to ask yourselves when you're painting, because then, you're basically turning yourself over to the process of it. And somehow, I think it makes it more genuine, and I think it makes the flow occur. And, when we are doing something creative, we are connected to universal flow, and that kind of creative energy moves through us. And I don't know if you've ever had that happen when you're doing a painting or something creative, and you just kind of go into a zone. That's what I call the flow, is just that zone that you get into. We're just allowing universal energy to flow through us into something beautiful. And part of that is letting go of expectations. So this is the wet result of this painting, and then the dried results. Now you can see I did have a little too much paint on there, even though I do love the pretty shimmery gold. But to the left there is a little bit too much paint, so you get that raised texture when there's too much paint. But overall it turned out pretty, and I hope that you learned something by watching today. I appreciate each and every one of you coming along with me today on this little painting journey, and I cannot wait to make more art videos just for you.